just a quick video to show you how to create a scatter plot with sheets. All the data is in your sheets, and if you look at the tabs at the bottom, it will tell you what the data has been separated into. It's either the whole class or into your particular hours. Okay, what I have here for the demonstration is completely fake data. And we have hours studied here and test scores. And I'll explain this one here in a little bit. To create a scatter plot, you highlight your two columns. You have to have an X and a Y in order to create a plot. So you'll see that this will be my X and this will be my Y, because we're determining that X is driving our test score. The number of hours studied is driving our test score. Okay, so now once you have those highlighted, you need to find your icon for graphs. Okay, this one showed up as default, and I don't want the default, so I'm going to scroll up here, and hopefully yours doesn't look different than mine. I know Google has changed this since I last used it. This is the one I want. There's also another one down here that says scatter plot, but make sure that this one is going to plot each the hour and the test score. We need to plot it as an X comma Y, not plot the hour and the test score separately. So here we go. Okay. Now, remember how we talked about that break in data, that little heart rate monitor sign? This data doesn't start until line 50. So let's get rid of all this unused table down here, unused graph. So I clicked on this axis, the y-axis, and I'm going to, I guess clicking on it once will work. Okay, over here, minimum value is, I'm going to put 50 because we have nothing below 50. Maximum value, notice my 100s fall off the page here. So I'm going to go 105. Okay, so everything's pretty nice and tidy. These are pretty simple because I go from 0 to 5 and everything seems to be good. Now I have test scores. Let me click back here again. If you let's see. Oh, where was it? Oh, maybe it's okay. There is a place that if you have your X's and Y's switched around, you can tell it and it will change it for you. But I think I have them all set up to where you want them. And really, yours won't matter that much because it's not necessarily true that I know of that height determines wingspan. I suppose it might be the driving force to have height always down here at the X. You can go with that if you want to. Okay, so now you have the first one, and this would be for, let's say, your the hour that you chose. Okay, so let's just say it's first hour. Okay, so the first one you're going to do is going to be dedicated to just 1 hour. You can choose your hour or second hour or third hour. We don't want everybody in your class to be choosing the same hour. We want to explore some of the other hours too. So click here and copy your chart. Then what you will do is you will go to a shared sheet. Now, when things are shared, they get a little crazy. So you need to be mature to handle what slide you're on. And it will say measurement scatter plots created by, and then your hour will be here. So you will be assigned this. But if someone's already claimed a particular slide, don't write over it. So let's say that I've claimed slide 2. I can click here and then Control V. And this doesn't really matter. If you link it to the spreadsheet, what will happen is there will be this little icon that will take you back to the spreadsheet. If you Control V and you paste unlink, that's not there, and it's just a screenshot. So it doesn't matter because I don't think we'll be going back to the spreadsheet anyway. So let's put this in here. Sometimes I have problems with my mouse cursor. You can kind of bust through the lines there a little bit. Make it big. Okay. All right, so that's your first hour. Now let's go back to the results. And let's delete this one. Okay. Now what we're going to do is you would go down to another you'd go to compare the whole class. So on your particular document, you're going to compare the whole class. So first hour and then all of 8th hour to see if the data from 1 hour lines up with the data from the whole class. Let me show you how you would select like this hour, skip over this hour, and go here. So how to select this column, skip over this column. Now to select this column, you hold down Control and click. So now you have 2 columns selected. It's going to graph this one and this one. So it's not going to graph 065, it's going to graph 099. So you just go through the same process. Adjust your axes and go from there and copy. So that's why on your bivariate data, I can open this up. You will see if you are graphing height and head together, you'll have to use that because obviously if you click and drag, you're going to highlight wingspan as well. Okay, so let's go back to the document to show you how to polish up your data here. Go to recent. Okay. All right, so you're not finished with your slide yet. You have to put some information on it. Okay. Come on. This is taking a little while. Your slide needs to have some titles on it. So you have this, you know it's first hour. This will be the entire class. All right, so we need to title it Test Scores versus Hours Studied. Okay, and yours would say head circumference versus wingspan, whatever. And then the hour that you did it, and then your name. All right. If you want to start with this title, that might be the best because that way someone knows you've claimed your slide. And then you can do the rest of the work. Okay, so now you've got your 2 slides in here, your single hour, your all of 8th grade. Then you come down here and we need to insert a text box. And by the way, the slide is all set up for you. You're going to use the same format as a title and 2 boxes. Okay, so this is no correlation, okay, between hours studied and test scores. Okay, so that's the conclusion. There's no correlation between hours studied and test scores. So then over here, you'd write you'd have your graph, and then you'd write probably the same thing. Now, you might want to note if there are any outliers, and just providing information about your graph, what kind of things you see. Now, obviously, there are no outliers in a no correlation, because if I started adding points, where would I put them to be called outliers? All right, then you are done with your assignment.